This is the eLearning Podcast, episode number 13.
We are a private school. We don't receive any funds from the states. So we live because parents pay to the school. And if students don't study, parents don't pay.
Welcome to the eLearning Podcast from lmspulse.com. My name is Stephen Laddick, and I'm the director at LMS Pulse. I have a very special treat for you today. My guest for this episode is Assina Kahamba. She's a civil engineer with a computer science background who decided to take care of the digital technology operations at the school where she works, which is called Lycée Liziba. I'm going to leave the introduction like that to avoid any spoilers, but suffice it to say, she's in the heart of Africa. Assina represents a very large part of the world's schools that, honestly, we don't take into account as often as we should. Schools such as Lycée Liziba represent some of the biggest opportunities for e-learning organizations, NGOs, and governments to create truly sustainable e-learning ecosystems of the future. I promise that this is a fantastic and thought-provoking conversation where Assina and I talk about the importance of addressing the digital needs of learners early on as they improve the odds of e-learning success later in life. We talk about the particular struggles low-income schools face around the world because of the global pandemic, and as well as the resourceful solutions they've come up with. For example, would your school be able to make WhatsApp the backbone of your distance learning operation? We also provide a glimpse at some of the custom ideas happening in hard-to-reach parts of the world, and the tech and startups gaining traction by understanding the realities in the field in these situations. And finally, we provide ideas about sustainable paths forward for schools and teachers facing limited access towards fully fledged e-learning solutions, and the role of evidence to convince students, families, and communities that these are worthwhile investments. But before we get started, a quick word from our sponsors.
The eLearning Podcast is sponsored by the eLearning Success Summit. Learn from more than 40 experts how to teach, work, and learn online without being overwhelmed. Get your free ticket to the summit at elearningsuccesssummit.com and lmspulse.com, your best source for news, information, and resources for e-learning professionals for more than 10 years. Get our free roundup of the week's top news at lmspulse.com.
Hello, Assina. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello, Stephen. I'm very excited to be there.
You know, Assina, I don't think that we've ever had a conversation with anybody in the place where you're sitting. Just surprise everyone, where are you sitting right now?
I'm in Kinshasa, in Congo, in Central Africa.
That is awesome. Kinshasa, and look at this. You know, this is what I love about today's world is that you're sitting in Kinshasa, I'm sitting in Colorado in the United States, and we have this clear, beautiful connection. We're able to communicate. I mean, the world is like this big now, you know, it's so tight.
Yes, it's amazing.
Assina, you know, we discovered you and we connected with you because you have put together this, you know, system of e-learning where you're sitting. But first, tell me about who you are. Introduce yourself to everybody who's listening, and tell us, you know, about the school, Liziba. I knew I was going to screw that up.
Yes.
But tell us about the school that you formed, and then you know, we'll kind of go into the solutions that you had.
Okay, my name is Assina Kahamba. I'm from Congo. I've studied here and I've learned computer science in the university. And then after 4 years working in the city of Lubumbashi as in high school, because I've seen that there's a need to form, first of all, the younger ones, because when they arrive to the university, sometimes it's already too late. So I've been in Lycée Liziba for 2 years. It's all girls schools. Okay. We have like 417 students, but in primary and secondary school, we are 300. So I've been working there for 2 years now, and then COVID came up, and I think that my computer background came also because in the school I'm in charge of life learning of teachers and the program of character development of girls, of students.
Okay, wow.
But when there's a need, I do other things like setting up the online learning program during this COVID.
So tell me how, I just have no idea how COVID affected Kinshasa. Were you completely shut down for 3 months? Are you now open back up? We're recording this just for posterity in, kind of late August 2020. So take me through that experience. What was COVID like, and are you back to normal now or what?
Yes. So the first case we had was on 10th of March. And on 19th of March, we were watching TV, and the president came and said, tomorrow we stop everything, schools, university, and because we need to keep people safe, so please shut everything. So we didn't have time even to say bye to students. They didn't show up the day after. So us as staff of schools, we went and we had a meeting with teachers saying that, okay, see you soon. We don't know when, but please, I hope that you will be safe. And yes, the school was closed like this. And 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed, 1 month passed, and we decided to do something because we had to do something.
Sure.
Student didn't have class. Okay, we've sent some homeworks through WhatsApp or things like that, but after 1 month we had to do something. So thanks God, in Congo now we had only 200 deaths.
Wow, amazing.
It's huge, okay, but we are 80 millions in Congo. So in comparison with other countries, I think we were lucky.
For sure.
We went back to school on August. The 10th of August, we started classes.
And so you're doing face-to-face classes now. You've opened up schools.
Yes, face-to-face classes, but we only have students of terminals, like only the 6th grade, that the one who will go to the university next year.
Okay.
And either we continue only online because for space reasons, logistics reasons, they've said that only the one who had to pass national exams.
Okay, sure, that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, well,
so
it's
unfortunate.
Now I understand, yeah.
Yes, we only have like 40 students on face-to-face, and the others is online.
So you have lots of these primary school students that are doing it completely online. And tell me, again, I don't want to be, it's just, I'm naive. Tell me, like, what does internet access look like? And for families that are in this school, do you have a fairly affluent population? So everybody has a computer at home and maybe some iPads and those kinds of things? Or what, like, tell me I mean, so if I'm a primary school student,
so,
like, what do I have?
For example, in Congo, like in all Africa, we have mobiles.
Yeah.
Mobile is only mobile. So family who have internet, they got it by mobile.
Okay.
So it's and it's expensive.
Sure.
So for example, one giga
sure,
is
$1.
One gigabyte is $1. So
now for most people, I just want to make a comparison for everyone listening. You know, for me, that doesn't sound very expensive, only because I'm sitting in the United States, right? 1 gigabyte for $1, whew, that's nothing. But what does that mean to someone who is in your school? Like, if I'm a parent who is thinking about purchasing data, how much is $1? How much does somebody usually earn in a month? Like, what's the normal salary?
So a normal people.
Well, let's think about teachers. Like, what does a teacher earn?
A teacher, okay, $350, and this is a teacher of secondary school.
Okay.
The one of primary got less.
Okay, and that's per month.
Per month, yes.
So that's, so $1 per giga is a very substantial portion of their salary.
Yes,
wow, that is very expensive.
Yes.
Okay.
And for example, for the school, we only have internet for the administrative staff. We don't have internet like this. It's only for direction and the administrative. So when a teacher wants to do a research, he needs to go to the secretary and say, can I connect, please? Ah, okay, what do you do? So there's no like Facebook time in the what? No, this is for like, you go to search something and everybody's watching that you are really searching it.
Sure.
So,
you know, I got to tell you too, that it's funny that we're making this joke, but again, for everyone who's kind of new to this and hasn't had these experiences, I'm lucky enough to have been to Africa and many different countries. You know, I always tell a story about, I was once at what's called a tier 3 health center in Uganda, right? And so this is a health center that's not a hospital. It's not even like a secondary, hey, clinic. This is like a little tiny clinic out in a village. And I spoke with the nurses there. And I was amazed because these nurses who didn't, you know, they couldn't even plug in their phones in the wall, right? Because there's no power, but they would still use Facebook. Like when they went and they found their, you know, when they went and got their data, they would use Twitter and Facebook to keep track of family and to connect with the world. So this is how powerful and important these mobiles are, and how, you know, it's just, I'm assuming that it's kind of the same for your teachers and your families as well. So tell me about the contrast. So you have some people who have no access to anything, but then what's, so
yes, but you have some schools, I'm working in a private school. We'll say that for middle class people, but you can also find school where you find everything. But most of the time is like for embassy schools, like the American one, the French one, the Belgian one, and some 2 other schools where they have everything. So there are a lot of contrasts, but for a Congolese school, access to internet is always a struggle. Wow, and we are talking about schools, but for families is like, it's a big deal to have internet.
For sure. So here you are, you're a middle class school, you're in the middle of Kinshasa, COVID hits and they shut down the school. Everybody goes home, and so a month later, you're kind of like, we have to do something because students need to keep learning. We got to keep life moving. Tell me what, you know, how did you come together as a school, as an administration, as, you know, and what were your, like, break that down for me. Like, what are the utilities that you have? What are the resources that you used, and how did you roll out classes?
Okay, because the first things we wanted students to study, because we know that when there are students who don't study for 2 months, for example, for holidays, when they come back, they lose 2 months of learning. So we wanted that our students could study. This was the first reason. The second reason is that we are a private school. We don't receive any funds from the states. So we live because parents pay to the school. And if students don't study, parents don't pay.
Parents don't pay. Yeah, sure.
So we had to survive. Is it okay, Stephen?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
So we had to survive. So we called teachers at school. We made a meeting with all the distanciation, the social distancing. But we said that, look, we had to do something because we need to survive. So 1 month we could consider like holidays, but now we need to do something. So we have class using WhatsApp because everybody in the country uses WhatsApp.
Okay.
And I have a friend who is a computer scientist who made a startup and who made an online platform which calls Eteyelo.
Eteyelo, okay.
Eteyelo, which means to study in Lingala.
Okay.
But it's very simple. You don't have to use
mail. If did your friend completely create the learning platform from scratch, or did he use something like Moodle or anything like that?
No, he started from scratch because when we were at the university, he won a challenge, a tech challenge. And it was Microsoft Dream. It was like kind of challenge made by Microsoft for students. So he won that challenge in Congo and start his startup.
Wow, cool. And the startup is supposed to be online education. That's what it does.
Yes, online education.
Cool. All right. Wow.
Yes. And it was very simple because you don't use mail, because let me show the context. I have 30 teachers in the schools.
30, okay. Mm-hmm.
Half of them don't have mails.
Do you mean like email or just like, or physical?
Emails.
They just use
So,
WhatsApp. It's all messages.
But, yeah, and they use WhatsApp. They have contact with their family with WhatsApp. So we didn't want to have a platform which will ask, what is your email, the captcha. No, it was something simple. You just put your login,
mm-hmm.
the password, and you are in.
Okay.
So we wanted, and that's why we choose Etelo, because he understands our context. So if now you tell me about security and everything, yes.
Does Etelo, so if I pick up my phone right now, does everyone use Etelo on their phone?
Yes, on their phone.
Oh, wow, cool. Okay.
And we choose Etelo because it was like, okay, this is for us. Because I have like 265 families in the schools, in the school Liziba. Maybe 40 have laptop to the house.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So if we wanted to do an online program, he had to be on a mobile phone, not in another way. So we choose Etelo. Teachers were very enthusiastic because they had to survive and they had to be paid. So absolutely, they start learning, but it was not difficult because we were using WhatsApp. Everybody used WhatsApp. Etelo was very simple. It was to log in.
So let me ask you, I just want to break it down a little bit more.
Yes.
So did you have one WhatsApp group maybe for the administrators, and then each one of them, like you have maybe a teacher group? And does it kind of go down like a tree like that, where it's like goes to teacher and then the teacher has a group of students or parents, or like how does it work?
Thanks a lot Stefan for the question, because this was the key. The problem was not technical, it was human, because it was like after it was a success, but because everybody got involved. We are lucky in my school because the relation with the parents is very good. And for the organization of the school, each class has like delegate parents who are like the bridge between parents and the direction and the school. So every class had a WhatsApp group. So the parent, let's say the delegate of the group, was the owner of the group. So at school we will send, and that will kind of manage the group, the communication, that everybody was able to log into Etelo, that every kid was there. So this is parent. And after, every class has a teacher who is responsible of the class. We call them in French titulaire, the one who follow up the class. So every class had a teacher responsible and a WhatsApp group.
Wow. And so did this feel, okay, yeah, keep going. My question is, were people disciplined, right? So they got their instruction from the coordinator, and then they worked with the teacher, but how did the teacher provide assignments or provide instruction? Take me there.
Okay, so, and this, I'm thinking about Ronel. Ronel, she's the secretary of the school, who has made an amazing job. She didn't sleep during those months because she was the one who had the information, who was trying to give it to the teachers and to the parents. And when there was a problem, the solution was called Ronel, because she had all the information. It was, let's say, it was hard because there are like two people, me and Ronel, who was like, with WhatsApp, waiting for something to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't receive the instruction. I didn't. So for all the problem, but it was quite amazing because everybody helped.
Sure.
Because everybody wanted to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Parents, students, and teachers too. So for example, when a teacher didn't know how to use something, he will call another one, and he will be helped.
So, and I have like a
But it was
thousand questions.
organization. So we.
Sorry, I just said I have like
Yes.
1,000 questions. So, for example, when you were in a class, would a teacher put information like a video or something to download or a lesson? Would they put it in Etulo and then they send a message and say the new class is online, or like how did that work?
Okay. So how was the schedule? The schedule was the teacher will put all the content on Etulo.
Okay, and so what's the content? Is it video? Is it just text? Is it
text? Because when you put video is expensive.
Okay, I understand. I just wanted to know. Yeah, okay, sure.
Video. So it was like, yes, you put text, and what you will put is links to YouTube videos, optional. If someone has internet to go there, he will go there.
I understand, sure.
But the basic one was text. Everything was text. That's what also we use WhatsApp. We didn't use Zoom, for example, because Zoom is gigas consuming.
Yeah, oh, sure.
And it means it's expensive.
Uh-huh.
So it was WhatsApp, no WhatsApp videos calls, no, only text. Because internet is difficult. Yes, thank you for the question, Stephen. So it was like that. So the teacher will put the text on Etulo. At 8, he will do the call of student who is there. So he say, Anita, are you there? So everybody needs to say that they are there, and they go to Etulo. And at 11, everybody comes in WhatsApp group and asks for questions.
Okay, I understand.
So students study alone. They read the text, they do the exercise on Etulo, and then the forum is on WhatsApp.
Wow.
They come and ask questions and do the things and talk with the teachers.
And these are primary school students.
Primary school and also secondary school. Primary school and secondary school.
So
for primary, it was possible because parents helped.
Okay. I was going to say, like, how did the parents, I could see in secondary, you could have somebody who could text, okay, I have a question about the science, or I have a question about math or whatever. But in primary, I mean, I have 3 children, all in, primary now. And they just need a lot of support.
And that's why I'm very grateful for the teacher, because it was very hard because they had to correct all the tests, looking to photos, to pictures.
Wow.
And looking like this.
On your phone.
So it was, yes, because we use only Google Form for secondary schools for the exams. But
so now I've heard of those. So you've got Etulo, you've got WhatsApp, you have pictures, Google Forms. Yes. What other technology?
For the exams, yes. But only for the exam of secondary schools, because for primary, the teacher will do a picture of the exam, we send it in the WhatsApp, kids will do it in the books, they make the picture and they send it back.
And how do you know, like many people are saying, there must have been a lot of cheating or a lot of, sharing of it.
Yes.
How did you deal with that? Was that an issue?
Okay, it's true that it was an issue because yes. But yeah, we've written to the parents saying that please help us to teach the values you want your kids to learn for life.
Sure.
We trust. And for secondary school, they had to sign an agreement of that there will be, how do you call it? We call it like engagement d'intégrité, an integrity
Integrity,
agreement.
ethics and integrity, sure. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So they've written it by hand, saying that me, Claudine, I won't cheat during the exam. People are laughing because, okay, yes, she can write it and cheat. Maybe, but for this, we wanted to finish the class. We wanted also be the opportunity to teach them values.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we know our students, and we think that they didn't cheat. Some of them, yes.
Of course,
and what we've did,
some people cheat.
them,
I mean, people cheat in all of the systems, right? So
no, but some of them, when we see the marks after, we say that there's something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we are back at school, we've called them to do the exams face to face.
Wow. Yeah, amazing. What was the just thinking of all the parts you put together and all of the different pieces that you have, it's tough to ask this question, but what were the one or two like most critical difficulties that you had? Like was it communicating with parents? Was it delivering the assignments? Like what was like, oh God, this was the hardest part?
To keep people engaged. Because we are doing this in a COVID situation. Parents don't go to work. Some of them are not paid because they are not working. Everybody's stressed because you don't know if it will be as in Europe, where people are dying with all the infrastructure. We are in Congo. If COVID comes here, all of us will die. So there was like a lot of stress from parents. And we are like the only school, we are two schools who were studying during this period.
Wow.
Yes, because the American one, Belgian one, they have an online platform. They've continued studying as anything was happening. But for Congolese schools in Kinshasa, only two of us, but no, let me say 10, maybe 10 schools studied online during the COVID. So all of our students, so there was time where I was saying that it's not, let us stop, because it was also difficult, because internet was difficult. We have electricity problem here. People didn't have computer. Just stop. Let's stop it because it's too hard. So we had to do something, making pictures of teachers, saying hi to the to send people, we miss you, as the direction of the school has to make calls, personal calls to some families, saying that we'll make it, thanks a lot for your engagement, we are very proud of you. So there was like keeping people like engaged. This was hard because, and communication, of course, communication. I was thinking that, I hope that all this problem of communication which happened, this was like the two issues which were very difficult.
Would you, if I were to go and take a survey of the parents today, do you think that I would generally hear this was a success? We're happy that the school did this effort and we're really proud of what happened? Or would they say, this was terrible?
Yes, they are very proud, because they are one parent told me, we've made things like they've made in Europe, where we did things online. Wow! So they're very proud. And they're very proud, and I can see it because now for the next year, I'm not answering to my call because parents are calling to put people in the school.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
Yes,
wow, this school did it and they had a success.
Yes, because our school has 10 years. There are many schools here who had like 80 years, 70 years, 50 years, 40 years. They didn't make things online.
Wow.
So we made a party with all the social distancing we were able to do to celebrate, because with this experience, we like change the level. Now I can look at myself and say that, yes, we are this school.
That is amazing. Is there anything, now that you've opened up a little bit and you're going to start, I assume, through a phased approach, you'll have more and more students come back. What are the pieces from this experience that you're going to keep? Are you going to continue to use the online system? It's Etilu, is that what it's called? And are you going to continue using the WhatsApp groups, or what pieces will you continue, or is this sort of just your emergency plan and you'll go back to normal?
No, because I think that with this experience, the school has raised the bar, because now parents are waiting something for us in the technology sector. So the thing is that we are trying, and that's why we also want to learn from experience of others, to make kind of hybrid program.
Okay.
To keep face-to-face training, teaching, education, but using the platform for homeworks, so students can do at home, to use more, we'll try. We are looking also for some sponsor here in Kinshasa to give us internet, we can have a multimedia room, to watch videos on YouTube, step by step, to have to use technology in the school. For example, yesterday we had a class, a training for our teachers on how to use tools of internet. So we went they've created the emails, finally. We went to see educative resources on YouTube, how they can use internet for their teaching, and everybody was there. Everybody was there, because now everybody wants to learn those things of technology. So
that was my next question was, are the students excited about technology in a new way, and they see opportunity in the future for that?
Yes. For example, in my school, phones were forbidden. No phone in the school. No phone. Makes sense. But now, when we see a phone in the school, it's maybe she's studying. Maybe she's not.
Or probably not. She's probably on Facebook.
Probably not. But, so I think that we are changing the culture in the school. And that's when my computer background is where? So we hope that step by step, use technology tools. So for there are many things that we've made, as I mentioned before, which were wrong, in the sense of, for security, it was awful, because teacher really suffer for this. We speak. This is for emergency. Also for the test of, it's true that we trust the families, we trust the students, but it's not enough to sign an agreement of integrity. We need to think for the long time how to assess better the students, for example. We are thinking about it. We will go step by step, because we went from people not having an email, not going on internet for their class. Now they have email, they're going on YouTube. We want to make a plan, and to talk with people of Etelo, because yes, Etelo was fine. I'm very grateful for them, because we succeed. But for the long term, there are many things that we want. We want, because we want forms, we want the possibility of forum, we want many things, and for the moment, Etelo don't have it. So we are thinking about Google Classroom, we are thinking about Moodle, maybe Etelo will do something step by step.
Assina, this has been such a powerful conversation. I can't thank you enough for sharing your experience with us. I know that everybody listening is going to learn a ton, and who knows, we'll see who reaches out. Maybe somebody will reach out and offer some help or whatnot. But I thank you for being on the show and for sharing your experience.
Stephen, thanks a lot for inviting me.
Thanks again for tuning into today's episode of the eLearning Podcast. If you like what you've learned today in this episode, I encourage you to either follow us or subscribe to us on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube. And please do share this episode with one or two of your colleagues or friends. Also, I just want to remind you that you can level up your online learning game with all of the information that's available at the eLearning Success Summit. You can get your free ticket at elearningsuccesssummit.com. And finally, you can also stay up to date on everything that's important, all the news and the resources for e-learning professionals at lmspulse.com. Get our free newsletter by just going to lmspulse.com today. Thanks again.